folks, we are going to start. We're going to start. Maybe some people will show up. And I believe he's going to record this. Welcome everyone to the AGP 2015 to 2016 for the graduate class. This is the CS 529 class. And about a year ago, people decided that the undergrads and grads should be in separate classes, which actually historically we were supposed to do that. When I founded this program 10 years ago, the Maturity School actually had a rule that undergrads and grads for the most part shouldn't be smashed together in the same class. And we did that in the early days because I think we had totally 53 total students in the first class. It was very small. And now our classes are quite big. So we have been building this year 4 games in the CS 529 class over here. Cinema has been running the undergraduate version of this over in Cinema building, and they've built 5 games there, but they have only 15 engineers. 15 engineers, 30 designers, which is crazy. This is crazy. It's the wrong mix. Wrong mix. What do I know from operating this program for 10 years? Our engineers, I make you all take the Game Design Workshop class, 69488, and probably about 15% of the engineers in our program want to be designers. So we have engineers who are also designers, and those are way easier to place in positions in the game industry than if you're just a designer who can't program. And so we were going to run this class pretty much like I've run it for 10 years. Our selection process is going to be a little bit more humane and more pleasant. And so, tell you how I think about it. If you come in with a really good game design doc and a well-developed team, so you have the core of your team, you've got your producer, you've got your lead engineer, you've got your lead artist, you've got your lead designer, and you have created a document that is, well done, and is something really interesting and innovative. Then you ought to have a great shot at building in this class over a year.
I want to actually underscore that point because we're invested in your success. So if you can demonstrate during your pitch that you have accounted for the entire life cycle of the project to ensure its success, then we'll throw our trust in you because we want to make sure that you've got all the tools you need to create, run, and complete a successful venture.
Yes, and so what we're hoping, you guys are coming through, is that you're going to get excited. You're going to write a great design doc. You're going to put together a team, and you're going to put that into the process. Now, we have a set of slides. Should we walk through these?
Let's walk through the slides.
See if there's anything valuable in here. What is AGP? Well, AGP is year-long. So we're going to choose by the last day of class what games are going to be built in the next year. And you're going to have summer to work on the design and finish your team. And we're going to have a showcase event at the end of every semester in which we invite large numbers of industry people to come and attend. Last semester was our very first time of running the showcase in this space, and the industry people liked it a whole lot. Historically, you probably saw some of the earlier demo day events where we put them in a theater and we had a 3-hour-long event with everyone sitting down. Turns out the game industry people don't actually like that. They all, to a point, said, we want to play the games live. We want to see the students live in who built the games. So when we switched to this brand new space almost a year ago, we have finally had the opportunity to build this here.
So that was just the highlight. The individual points are also covered. So why don't we talk about the showcase before we move on to the next?
Sure. So the showcase, our next showcase, by the way, is going to be May 13th, which is a Wednesday, 11 to 2. We have 2 showcases. One is the Wednesday of the first week of finals in fall semester. Why that date? Because a lot of our international students want to fly home before the holidays. So it's early. We can't do the Monday, Tuesday because it's a stop day. We put it on the Wednesday. We put it in the middle of the day 11 to 2. For the following reason, just the game industry people who want to come over here from Santa Monica, if they try and get over here at 11 o'clock in the morning, it's pretty humane drive. If you try and put it at like 5 o'clock, it's an inhumane drive, all right? And we finish at 2, it's a nice drive back, okay? That's kind of the origin of the timing. And so that first semester, we make it that Wednesday. Our international students often will fly out that night. And the spring showcase we put in the Wednesday of graduation week. So the graduation ceremonies are Thursday and Friday, and parents are around helping people move out of dorms and things, usually by that Wednesday. So when we have it on that Wednesday, parents come and see what you built. We have game industry people who come and see what you built, and it's a really fun time. We're going to have this in May. We're going to have food in the center once again. We've got one of the teams has a musician who's doing the music for them, and they're actually going to come and play. I'm not sure where we're going to put them, but they're going to play as well. So we're working on that. So fall showcase sort of aligns with when the game industry starts thinking about internships and jobs. So if you were going to take this and say, when do I put all my work in? Have a spectacular game in the fall. Because a lot of the jobs, they start collecting resumes about December, and they interview you January through March. Usually by March 15th, they pretty much decide who they're going to accept and give you an offer by the April 1st. And but there's still companies who are, when we come to spring demo day, are looking for folks. Activision is usually one of the absolute latest. They'll come to spring demo day and say, I need 5 engineers. I'm like, oh wow, you just came now. Whereas other companies like Electronic Arts and Blizzard will interview people way earlier. All right. So, all right, move on. Goal of AGP: create the best student games in the world. Actually, I look at it this way. I invert this to create the best student game developers in the world. That's really the whole plan of it. So we're going to graduate you, and you will have built games in a team over the course of a year, and the team will be from 20 to 40 students large. And you'll have outsourced your art to somewhere because USC doesn't have a game art program. And you'll have great skills. So how great are these skills? I've been at USC 10 years, and I went and added up my rosters recently. I've had over 1,500 students on the rosters. And this is a lot of students. If you went out, and I'm connected to most of my alums on Facebook, and so my alums, when they ship a game, they put a picture of themselves with the game box or the poster or the team, and I collect all those and I put them in a slide set, and then I track how well their games do. So our alumni, at this point, have shipped games that are played by over 2.5 billion players. So if you total that all up, that's probably about $100 billion in revenue over a 10-year period. So that's a pretty big contribution to the game industry from here. And people love to hire our students. They put them into the teams in their companies, and they are immediately productive. They know how to work, right?
I want to underscore that I came from the video games industry. I was in console games as of 1999, and right about 2005, it became very apparent that the very, very best game developers were coming out of the Game Tech program. So it's the skills that you will learn in this final year are immense, and the industry knows. It's not a dirty little secret anymore. So we actually have some samples from previous games, and we'd like to share them with you.
Those are just links. We're going to post these slides somewhere.
Yeah.
So if you look at the GamePipe website, there's a section called trailers up there, and this is the trailers for all the games that have ever been built in the advanced games class, and in my mobile games class, and my network games class over 10 years. So if you took all of those trailers together, and I put them all together about a year ago, it's about 13 and a half hours of trailers. It takes forever to watch. It's a huge file. And I put it together because when we were moving out of the old space on campus, we had a goodbye space party. And we played it. It just, got through like 3 hours after 13 hours. But You'll go back, if you go back into the if you go back and look at what were we showing in 2005, 2006, and what we're showing today. Now what we're showing today is spectacular. In fact, if you look at each year, the games just get better and better and better. And the tools to make them make it much easier for you to build games now.
So let's talk a little bit about what you can expect for the upcoming AGP year. Here's an overview of the general timeline, and we will jump straight in and talk about the pitch timeline for spring.
All right, let's see what we have here. We got GDC's coming up 2nd through 5th of March, and then Friday, March 13th, proposals are due by 6 p.m. And if you went to the GamePug website, you know I sent out that note to the Google group today. There's a wonderful link there that has the full process on it. Basically, it tells you, what the game design doc. We want to see what your team looks like. There's a lot of other information. If you have a video demo or an executable, we want that wrapped up in a way that we can easily get. By the 23rd of March, finalists will be announced. And what finalists means is those are the people who get to pitch to us live. And a month later, on April 23rd, is pitch day. We're going to run it at 7 o'clock at night in here once again. Pitch day is, you come in and you stand up in front, you show a PowerPoint of what you're building. If you have a live demo, show us a live demo. If you have video, show us video. Make sure you've got concept art in there, or it's going to look like this other game that you really like. Do all the touchstones and have all, and we're going to answer winners, tell you winners by Friday, April 24th. Probably what will happen is we'll do pitch day, we'll send you all off, and then, Sinjin and I will go up and decide, what's going to be built. We're going to have industry people come to comment. We'll probably try and get Scott Easley to come and be part of this as well. And some alums will come as well. We'll see who's busy. It really depends on that. But in the end, it's going to be us two who make that decision. Okay. A year ago, the process was pretty messed up, honestly, and we had some people's thesis games get selected as opposed to some of the better games, and so some things are not going to happen this time. Right? It's going to be very open and fun. Right?
So the proposal is most clearly the most critical challenge that you'll be grappling with. Let's talk a little bit about the submission. Here are your requirements. So please, when you review this document, make sure that you read through all the requirements as it relates to what needs to be submitted. And by all means, I also encourage you to read the work of former Apple evangelist Guy Kawasaki, who has some really, really great things that he shared as it relates to the pitch process. The pitch process, by the way, is, well, actually, we'll be getting to the pitch process. Let me actually save Guy Kawasaki for the pitch process. Yeah. But the formal submission, do make sure that you hit all of these, all of the bullet points listed here.
Yeah. You gotta have game goals and features, game structure, art direction, production plan, proposed team leads and members, and tentative commitments. We'd like it to be firmer than that. That I think is pretty key. All right, skip. Supporting materials: design doc, concept art, video, interface sketches, inner walkthrough, story, character descriptions, playable prototype, whatever helps bring your idea to life. I remember going into the pitch process a couple of years ago where the students actually brought in the first level of their game running on the Nintendo DS. And I said, here's what we're building. And I was like, perfect. And I was like, how could we say no? And they had a team of 13.
It's worth mentioning, as it relates to your proposal, that the criterion is roughly 3 parts: concept, art, and ideas, and 4 parts: team, planning, production planning, expertise, and so it's slightly slanted towards the actual nuts and bolts of putting together a great game. And the reason is because we want to make sure that the team is going to be successful, that there's expertise, synergy, and the right number of key personnel already in place. So a demo answers a lot of those questions. You will have a significant amount of guidance in refining ideas. I guess the best way to put it is that a brilliant idea horribly executed is significantly worth less than a team that can brilliantly execute something mediocre. And the reason why is because brilliant people will take something that's mediocre and transform it into something even better. So we are more concerned with putting that you gather all of the personnel that will make it a successful venture.
Example submissions. Never mind. This is written by Aaron Reynolds. It's a spectacular game design doc. This was built in the advanced games class, and Erin is a very special person. She was in the very first advanced game class ever taught here when she was an undergraduate. And when she graduated, she went to Disney for a couple of years and then came back as an MFA Interactive Media student. And she wasn't actually in the advanced game pitch process, but what happened is we actually had selected a game, and the student had the whole summer, and he showed up on the first day of class and said, "I've decided not to form a team. We shouldn't build my game this year." And we were short a game. And so I found Erin. I said, "Erin," and she had just sent me her thesis game design doc. So I said, "Erin, how would you like to be a replacement game?" So we selected her game. But it's a wonderful, how do you write game design docs? All right.
So we began talking about the pitch process. Pitch is going to be on Thursday, April 23rd at 7 p.m. right here in the Egg Building. So please be mindful of that date and get your materials together. And this actually would be a good time to mention Guy Kawasaki. So former Apple evangelist, wrote a little book called The Art of the Start. He's got a wealth of materials online, including a blank PowerPoint pitch deck that you can use as a template. I'm a big fan of his for the reason that he is he's evangelizing and promoting the idea of how to pitch to venture capitalists for the reason that since he left Apple, he moved into venture capital, and of course it serves him to educate people how to present competent pitches. It's not as easy as you think. And some study in this regard will help you immensely, because his structure will force you to think about the things that VCs care about. We know that you're passionate about the ideas and you want to talk about the intimate relationship between the hero and his dog, and that's great. But it's not what we're looking for as it relates to the composition of the team. We want you to assuage us and convince us that you've got the right personnel, the right talent, the right overall concept, game goals, a rock-solid plan that will take you through the entire life cycle of your project. And the folks that are going to be involved will be myself, Mike, and we will be bringing in industry professionals. The pitch process is your opportunity to really learn how to evangelize your ideas and put yourself in the driver's seat. You're going to need to use these skills your entire career. You're going to need to pitch ideas to your bosses if you have a project that you want to promote. You're going to have to learn to pitch ideas to your colleagues if you have an idea that you want to bring about, maybe a new way of doing things. Maybe you'll start your own company and you're going to have to look for money. So this is your opportunity to learn from some of the best and the brightest. And As we mentioned before, the key things that we look for in your pitch revolve around the goals, the composition of the team, the overall appeal of the game, and most importantly, the scope of the game and the viability of completing the game on time and under budget. And I do say under budget because human labor is your collateral, and you're going to need the faculty of your convictions and the excitement and expertise of your friends in order to complete this great endeavor. So,
Now what?
now what? We're going to talk about the rest of the steps, from concept, recruiting, composing your team, all the way to deciding who among the team will be the leads, who's best suited for this role, and how to getting feedback for the composition process and setting up for the ensuing semester. So, with regards to concept, as we mentioned before, don't fixate on the details. We need a 10,000-foot view. We know that the view from the drone that is swooping in on the vehicle, where you can actually see the whites of the driver's eyes, is awesome. But we need 10,000 foot, because only from that height are you going to be able to see how to get from the beginning to the end. Focus on experimentation, particularly as it relates to technology. You are fortunate to be in one of the most amazing hubs of innovation on the planet here at USC. So there's lots of great emerging tech and that you can take advantage of. We're living in amazing times. We've got augmented reality, virtual reality. We've got the capacity to rapidly iterate with devices. So if you think that you've got something that you want to do with dedicated hardware, we certainly support you. And all that being said, if you feel so strongly about a game that uses current technology and runs on a PC, but innovates and does something in a way or from a perspective that's never been done before, game on.
Yeah.
Game on. Naturally, keep in mind the scope of the game and bring to bear the team that you need to build the game. But most of all, understand what it is that you are building. It is much better to have laser focus on an overall concept than to sort of have a feeling that, well, with this technology, I know I can build something great. Really hone in on what that new idea or new technology is. We have a Facebook group. Please, this would be a good time to start making friends and making it a habit to chime in. There's a wonderful conversation that's going on among your peers, and it would be it's the best way to meet people, to form your core team, to collaborate, to exchange ideas. So we encourage you to join. There's also lots of information there as it relates to learning how to recruit team members. We are lucky to have some wonderful partners in the Laguna College of Art and Design, also in the Savannah College of Art and Design, and among them as well, Otis, some from UCLA, a wealth of artists from Atlantic College,
Atlantic
University in Puerto Rico.
University, Holland.
So this is the place where you can learn some of those tricks and techniques. During this phase, you'll be setting up your core team, and I think that you can probably, as you're going through the design document and you're answering questions about your game, you want to be asking yourself in the back of your mind, who's the individual who's going to execute that? Who's going to hold the responsibility to make sure that this gets done? Both as it relates to art, audio, design, production. Who's going to manage? Production is a full-time job, and it is coordinating the efforts of 20, 30, 40 people is immensely difficult. So you'll want to find truly gifted people in all of these areas. And finally, it's also your opportunity to find out if you can actually collaborate with these people. Just because you've got the best and the brightest, if you don't have the right chemistry, it is better to have a group that truly gels and has the right chemistry, because it will foster trust, and that is one of the most vital things for getting through. Because believe me, success has a lot less to do with inspiration, and it truly has more to do with passion and perspiration. So, some requirements. The individuals on your team have to be able to commit to the entirety of the project. We've had teams in the past that have had part-time leads. It just doesn't work. Whatever everyone else on the team is doing 100%, the leads have to do 150%. And at a minimum, you must have a lead artist, a lead designer, a lead engineer, and a lead producer. So make sure that all four of these disciplines are represented. And by the way, that lead artist must have a fundamental understanding of the animation pipeline. If your artist doesn't do art and animation, then also make sure that you have a lead animator. Because one of the things that the groups invariably struggle with is the pipeline getting animated characters from their desktop into the game. Make sure also that you are recruiting an advisor. Reach out to your peer faculty, alumni, folks in the industry, and recruit somebody who has a vested interest in the success of your game. It's unbelievably invaluable to have somebody in the industry that has lived the nightmare of a production gone wrong. So this is it's something that you simply can't get in a formal lecture setting. So that's why this class is so special. And of course, one of the things you'll also learn very early on, particularly in the pitching process, is that development is all about cycles. Iterate, iterate, iterate. You'll have a pitch that you think is perfect. Well, now's your chance to actually give your pitch to people, find out where the flaws are, and videotape yourself giving the pitch, find out where the flaws are, to fix some of the language in your pitch, to fix some of the errors in your production estimates. You want to make sure that it looks and feels so natural that you can literally do it in your sleep. That is the ultimate goal in pitching. I'll just share an anecdote. I've been fortunate enough to be in startup space in my career, and in the span of 1 year, we pitched to over 30 venture capitalist firms, and it's so nerve-wracking. But after every single pitch, we always got back together for outside of the firm for coffee. And we stepped through each moment of the pitch, and we asked, what went right? What went wrong? What can we do better? So this is, learn the mantra of iteration, because it's what's going to guide you from the pitch process all the way to the very, very last moment of your experience, when you have a finished game and you're going to be presenting this game in front of executives at Activision or EA. Here's a useful Google group to sign up for. And about ourselves.
That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mike Zadek.
If you don't have my email address, you've been asleep. Sinjin, you must know him too.
Hi, I'm Sinjin.
All right, it's question time. Any questions?
So on your one of the slides it said team members, they can be listed like on multiple, sort of tentatively on multiple projects.
It could be.
Okay. Well, it's like the situation where like say like two people are pitching projects. I'd like the other person to be the engineer if their project doesn't go through and mine does. Is it flexible enough to sort of allow for?
I'm approximately okay with that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm abusing that. I'm just, I have to sometimes feel like.
No, we had 1 year. I mean, probably the 1 year we had like 27 written documents, and there was a group of 5 who like were on 5 different pitches. It was like crazy.
Yeah, that'd be good.
In fact, that year I think we selected 2 of their games, and so all of a sudden it's like, oh, now what do you do?
Yeah.
It's kind of not perfect.
Yeah.
Just in general, about how many pitches do you receive, and how many pitches become finalists, and about how many pitches do you select?
Well, in this class right now we're doing 4 games, so it fits very nicely with the space. It fits with the number of people we usually have in the graduate level advanced games. So I think my registration last semester were 50 students, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, ideally 4 or 5 is the sweet spot, but it ultimately comes down to the project. If there's an inspired project that demands a super team, we'll support it. If there is an amazing project that is a small team of maybe 10, 15, that will support it. I think the only thing we're not open to is a power trio. I think that it does not. You're not going to get the full benefit of the class in that kind of a context. We want to encourage students to put together projects of a certain size for the reason that if you're operating within that little sweet spot of team size, you're going to get the most out of the class from the reason that you'll learn every aspect of production, the entire production life cycle, and you'll also garner the appropriate amount of attention when it comes time for showcase.
Yeah. Other questions? No.
So just one question about the team leads. So does the team leads have to be a part of the AGP, or it doesn't necessarily have to be?
They have to be in the class, yes.
Like in the class, right?
Yeah.
So you cannot recruit as like for team leads, you cannot recruit anybody else outside.
On the artist side, we've often let that go.
Yeah. So your lead engineer absolutely must be in the class. If you have an art director that you want to recruit, and they are 100% dedicated to showing up to class, and effectively they will allow anyone to audit if they demonstrate their dedication.
Should you do the same for production? Because it's a very tape class.
Yeah, we can be convinced.
Okay.
All right.
I think that basically that's our mantra: convince us.
Yeah, convince us, or sign up
I
for
think my dedication to the program has been proven, but I would hate to not pitch because
you should pitch.
because I can't like fit it into my schedule or something in
Yeah.
terms of credits.
Ask your advisor to swap one of your classes for it.
Can I take it last twice for
I think we do let that happen. Other questions?
Curious, by show of hands. hands. How many people are thinking about making games using existing console technology? Okay. 1, 2. Consoles, Xbox, PS3.
Yeah. Or else PS or like PC also. Is
But
that gonna be
PC.
separate? Yeah.
So Steam.
Yeah.
Steam. Okay. How many? By show of hands, how many people are thinking about pitching something using some new emerging technology?
VR.
VR. Very cool.
So do we have like Oculus dev kits that we could use?
We can get
Oh
them.
yeah. Yeah, those are available,
We can get them.
and we know a thing or two about that.
Yes. We have a couple.
Very cool. Groovy.
How many of you are going to pitch a dot? How many are going to send us a design dot? All of you. 2, 3. Okay, that's good.
Are you open to like reviewing and editing design docs ahead of time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I don't like bombard you.
Yeah, just realized that we could be really busy and like we could like take past March 13th to review them.
I mean-
I've got one done now. So it's
Okay.
Time willing. Last I checked, we are educators, and we're kind of addicted to education. So, you know, hit us up for advice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This is going to be fun. I mean, this will be a great opportunity for you, and will dramatically help you get a job. This class over the 10 years has been the class that gets you the position in the industry. And you know, there's other ways you can get a games degree from here without taking this class, and it's much harder to get a position if you haven't done this.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. All right. Let's rock.